Hey y'all, my name is Kevin,
And I'm Lucas,
and this is
Millennial Co-Podcast.
Well, we'll figure that out one day. So, lots been happening this week. So, I think the first thing I want to talk about this week is we just out of nowhere decided to learn some Japanese, which sounds surprised you don't already know.
Yeah, no, we're on that Weibo fix, and if our dreams are supposed to come true about living in Japan, gotta get on the boat. Gotta get on it.
Yeah, like I think you're just learning it for the sushi, right?
Just so I can go to a sushi chef and just communicate to get the best fish possible.
Yeah, you you want to go with like the sushi chef, like, oh, gozaimasu, and then whatever, like the.
Wait, is that even a real word?
Yeah, it's like a formal way of like addressing someone. So I actually got the textbook, the first Genki one and the second one too. Currently going through that, but basically, I might not be pronouncing it right, but is gozaimasu. So, for example, if you say good morning to like a formal or polite way, maybe to someone on the train or someone like not necessarily a stranger, could be a stranger, but someone you're not as acquainted with, you can say ohayo gozaimasu. So obviously it's just like these starter words of any like textbook, but you can see I believe this is like hiragana, which is one of the alphabets. But yeah, me and Lucas just decided, hey, it wouldn't be fun to learn Japanese, and I know I was joking around with him because he's watched so much anime that I'm surprised he doesn't know some phrases already.
No, I mean, I know more than I probably think, maybe, yeah. But like I said, more than I should know more. This is kind of crazy. But gozaimasu means
sorry, gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu.
Yeah. So yeah, just like a formal way of addressing someone, being polite, right?
So cool. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Seriously, I really hope. Yeah, man. You get good at it and stuff. That'd be good.
Well, no, I was shocked. I was shocked when you first told me. Because just like, oh yeah, I'm just like you just casually nonchalant, like, oh yeah, maybe 4 or 5 hours a day. We'll see.
I'm just. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that too, right? But the hiragana, that's what I'm saying. Am I crazy? Is it just there's 3 scripts: hiragana, kanji. Or am I not even saying that right? Am I?
Kanji.
Kanji, yeah, kanji. Hiragana, and what's the other one?
Katakana.
Katakana, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, does it make sense if I just learned hiragana?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get around like so basically like this is just a brief overview from what I read on the first introduction chapter, but basically like hiragana and katakana. More specifically, hiragana basically resembles, or all the symbols resemble, all the possible phonetic combinations. So what does that mean, right? It means like a, i, u, e, like basically a normal alphabet, sounding it out, right? So you could essentially replicate like any Japanese word with these phonetic sounds. I think katakana is very similar, but it is, I think it's a certain way of writing with more straight lines, if that makes sense. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I remember seeing something like that. Yeah. I just didn't know what like the best bang for your buck was going to be.
Oh yeah, so it might be hiragana, so you can see this.
Travel to Japan in 6 months,
Yeah, here's the more curvy lines, the hiragana. But yeah, like so for example, like if that phrase I told you, like ohayo gosaima, right? So you can see in the first chapter it uses the hiragana, right? So basically for each one of these characters, I know it's a little hard to see, but this curvy, like back here, it literally would be like go sai ma su, right?
Right, go sai ma su. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think I already knew the answer too, right? Because I remember reading like the kanji is like the English words that they just have.
Yeah, so like kanji is like I think it's like based off Chinese characters, and then they have like certain meanings. I forgot exactly like when it's applied, but I know for this book, for example, Genji, the first chapter is hiragana, then it's katakana, and then the rest of the book is all in kanji, or like some combination of hiragana and kanji. So it's I think that's one of the difficult aspects to kind of learn it, like get all these symbols, like understand the phonetic alphabet, and then like going through that. I know we had some voice messages saying too how it's like tonal and pitch based too, so that could be a little extra block for us learning it. But if it wasn't hard,
oh yeah. For the minute, yeah, right. Like chopsticks means the same thing as airport or something. If you say it differently, or
I'm not sure on the specific word, but yes, it sounds feasible.
Yeah, I can't remember the actual 2 words, but chopsticks means something if you say it like high, tone in the beginning versus high tone and
yeah.
So that's like great. Like that sounds pretty nutty.
Yeah. Well, it's I definitely know in like Mandarin, for example, like it's very tonal. So like they have a whole like kind of children's poem, or maybe it's not necessarily a children's poem, but a poem that is often told to kids, and basically it's the same word with just different tones. So it's like sure, like that.
Right.
It's a whole yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what's sucks. Well, Mandarin is really hard, but that's what's going to pose a huge problem to us because we, we talk pretty fast and like that means like your pronunciation of word, like I can't even say the pronunciation of word right. Like you got to be like, so that's a challenge.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to base my Japanese accent on like the badass Japanese guys in the anime. You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah.
Like like how like the
I
old,
know what you mean.
Yeah, the older guys talk like gozaimasu. Like that.
No, right. The guy that goes oh my momo.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Wait, and that word basically just means what? So like surprise, like nani.
Yeah. No, for sure.
What's funny about that? Yeah, I've been thinking about like some anime or manga or even just video games I could play like as the Japanese language skills improve, right? And guess what popped up on my Nintendo Switch feed yesterday?
So it's a Japanese game.
Yeah.
Or
it's a game you really like. Has multiple endings.
But it's on Nintendo Switch. That's what throws me off. Don't tell me yet, though. But it's on Nintendo Switch. Just tell me if it's a Nintendo exclusive.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah.
But there's actually a lot of great like anime. Like while you're thinking about that, like there's a lot of great anime movies I want to see. Remember I was telling you about the one where like they Have I Met You Before? Or I forgot what the exact title was.
Have I met you? No, but give me some more hints. Though. Hold on, back up to that game.
Okay.
Give me some more hints because this is taking me off. I should know.
It starts with the letter N.
Like, give me something about the world.
Well, dude, come on. There's not many games that starts with N.
I mean,
Japanese game
have the letter N. What in the world?
I guess you could say female protagonist. Okay, I don't think you're gonna get it, so I'm just gonna tell you.
I feel embarrassed, man. I'm embarrassed.
Near Automata or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Okay, I should have. Okay, no.
Are you even a gamer?
I maybe should have got that. That's a game that's not on my mind a lot. I mean, yeah, I should have got it. Sure, I'm not gonna help around it, but to be fair, that's something that was not really on my mind. But yeah, you should have just said androids.
Well, I thought that would not exactly give it away. I couldn't make it too easy.
Right, but no, I remember you sending me that clip. Yeah, man, that sounded really awesome. And the game's really, again, the story is wild, man. Extremely well written, and again, like you experience it and like the cleverness of it.
Yeah.
If you can stick with it, it'll take you like 40 hours in total to see all the endings and do everything.
Yeah.
Not every ending, but a good bit, like to see all like the true endings and stuff.
Yeah.
It's worth it for sure.
Yeah, like I think as the Japanese skill proves too, like I wouldn't mind, like, because remember that thing with Atomic Habits, like James Clear's Atomic Habits, like, oh, you can mix a good habit and a bad habit, right? So this is actually just like my get out of jail free card. Just like, oh, I can play video games. Just it has to be.
That was the key all along, just learn a language.
Yeah. So it'd be Japanese language, Japanese subtitles. So would it be playing System Shock or BioShock in Japanese? Can you imagine Andrew Ryan or whoever the main guy in the plot twist is speaking Japanese?
No, but the Near Demand that's actually a really good one for the language too.
Okay.
You see me? I've been seeing stuff where I've actually been seeing stuff about don't watch anime because the way they speak is not really normally that's not how people speak actually like every day.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
the phrases and stuff. So it's actually not really a good supplement for it. Like I actually kept seeing like looking at like contemporary videos of Japanese
Hmm.
to really kind of understand like how they actually speak.
Oh, like more like just it would be better off, or it would behoove you more to, instead of watching anime, just watch like YouTubers who speak that contemporary Japanese.
Yeah, seriously, because like a lot of that's what I saw. A lot of the phrases and stuff in the anime, like it's not um, really applicable to like how everyday people speak, and right, it's all hyped up. And yeah, I mean, again, that's not
So
like you learn stuff.
you're saying I shouldn't be learning, and I will move forward until all my enemies are defeated. It's
Yeah,
not useful in Japanese.
I don't know. Yeah, especially like with that tonal pitch, like you said. I mean, right, that could be part of it too. But I think the video game would be okay though, because the way they're androids too, so they talk pretty like robotic and
Yeah.
pretty stoic, so it probably come across pretty clear and probably be something you can use every day too. But again, I'm not trying to dissuade you.
Yeah.
Push you aside. I mean, if you're right, you're going to learn something probably from it and stuff. But I just saw that wasn't the best way to do it.
Okay. Okay, so I'll focus more on like those Japanese YouTubers. I actually found like a really good lady. I don't know her off the top of my head, but her channel is actually pretty nice. I'll send it to you afterwards. But she actually gives some good tips on learning the Japanese language as well. And then I'll let you know what video games I end up having on the queue when I feel like my Japanese is decent enough. Probably after finishing this book, obviously. Well,
yeah, again, I think the hiragana is what I'm going to focus on. Just try to keep that simple for now.
Yeah, cool. And then this is one of my most favorite times of the year now. Fall. I just love the weather. I'm a sweaty guy, so this is like my safe place or refuge against the brutal summers.
The summer, summers are bad. Yeah, your safe place. I know what you mean. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like, I guess I'd rather be cold than hot to avoid like the sweat too. But at the same time, there's nothing better than that warm weather.
Yeah.
But no, we're coming to seasons are changing here. I mean, it's pretty cold it's pretty cold where you're at right now.
Yeah. Like it's especially out at night. Like you mainly just deciding, is it worth it to bring a jacket? Right now, the last 2 days I went out, like it was not worth it. I was kind of holding it wherever I went, like in the bars or areas like that. And then, but it's going to probably get colder soon, where it's going to be way worth it to bring that jacket, especially walking to the bars or the restaurant. But it's kind of cool. Like when I was walking around here yesterday, there's a ton of people out, so people are really getting excited about the upcoming Halloween weekend.
Good, it's really good here too. The weather's not too bad at all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be lazy with my Halloween costume. I think I'm just gonna wear my gi.
You're even dressing up at least. I'm not even doing anything like that.
If you were to dress up, I feel like you'd actually do a pretty good job dressing up as Lupin the Third.
Cool. I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah. All right. So you told me you wanted to talk about something crazy happening with Kanye.
No, not really specifically with Kanye. I just wanted to see if you were keeping up with what's happening with Kanye. You said you keep up with him.
The only thing I know is like this is headlines, because I haven't really like been focused on Twitter or like Reddit, like news wise. Is like apparently he said some anti-Semitic stuff or something like that, or I don't know what happened there.
Yes, he did say, that's part of it. That's part of it. He's just gone. I mean, look, so everyone knows, Kevin and I are actually huge fans of Kanye West. Mm-hmm. In fact, we were huge fans of him back in high school too. My favorite album was probably Yeezus, because I remember that summer at school where I was at in college, and I remember that album got leaked, and I think I was talking to you about it. So And I remember I think I hated it at first. I wasn't like really feeling it, but I still like kind of bought the album just because I don't know, it just felt right. And man, what that album taught me is that music can grow on you, and the songs that I thought I hated became like masterpieces. And like every little intricacy in how he's like, switches things up on you in that album, it's just wild, and it just supports his genius and how like he does things. And yeah, Yeezus was something else, man. Made that summer really special. All those songs, like you said, they really grew on me and just became just truly awesome. But right now, he's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Again,
he does have some type of mental illness, right? Like I'm not misremembering that, or
who knows?
like bipolar or something.
I don't know. Yeah, people are like tell him like take his medication and stuff. Because look, we've been fans of him. Like we've always seen him do crazy shit, and he's like, that's just Kanye. Kanye being Kanye. Mm-hmm. Like whatever. But this is to the point where the kind of things he's doing now is like, Jesus, like this is even crazy for Kanye.
Yeah.
He's like burning business deals. Like so many people like dropped him and shit, and he wants to he's like the couple latest things I've seen in the anti-Semitic comments. He's buying this conservative platform and stuff like Parler or something. I forgot what it's called, but like they find like this conservative platform to people can talk on or something. I don't know. He wants to even make his own city. I think it's called. I might be shitting you. Let me just look it up. Hold on. Yeah, we gotta look this up. I don't want to mispronounce it. Kanye West City, like Yeastopolis or something.
Yeatopolis or something.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like this is just what I saw today. Kanye West wants to build his own mini city. Called Ecosystem.
Oh my god.
He wants to build his own city called Ecosystem. So Kanye West is just gone crazy. He's calling Biden. He's literally said, I quote, "effing retarded." Like on live air against Morris Peterson, that UK journalist, I don't know,
Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I literally you retarded that Biden is not talking to Elon Musk every single day or something. I mean, Kanye West has gone off the rails even for me, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, so two things based on what you told me is Apocalypse or ecosystem or like ecosystem, whatever. It kind of reminds me of like one of those like 70s cults, just like, we're gonna live in a dome, it's gonna be utopian, something like that.
Yeah, no, this is like becoming cultish, for sure, man. I think I saw that comments a couple times, people talking about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because he is very charismatic, but like have you ever heard the phrase like the emperor has no clothes, right? If you haven't, it's basically a phrase is like when someone has power, and like let's say like you were at like an event with like a king's inner circle, or like just a fancy one of those like castle parties, right? And that king or emperor like came into the party basically just wearing an open like bathrobe, right? He's like so powerful that no one will tell him he's naked, essentially, right? So
right. No one's gonna point it out.
And I think the thing with like Kanye, like he's probably just struggling with some like mental illness, but he has like essentially at this point, because he's a billionaire, right? Like unlimited resources and probably a lot of yes man and people knowing how to manipulate him or like use his mental illness against him when he's in a manic state. Like I'm guessing that's what's happening, and he's just doesn't have a lot of people saying no. And then like I think how he like probably rose up is like with any type of thing in industry or like where you're in a field where like it's just like 1% of 1% of 1%. Like he's his whole life he's been going against people who didn't believe him, and now it's not as useful as the skill. Like I remember we talked about this before, like right, like sometimes the skills that it takes for you to get to the top aren't no longer useful when you're on the top.
That's interesting to think about too.
Yeah.
Actually, I like that too. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think it happens with like a lot of people from like disadvantaged or like poor like backgrounds, like whether like you're basically you just grew up poor, like struggling or a place with a lot of crime. Like you have to be tough, right? in order to survive and grow up. But like let's say you get more in a business setting where it's a little bit more about soft power or like negotiating stuff like that, and less like direct threats. Like sometimes again, the tools that helped you succeed at first to get there, it's like you gotta know when it's no longer useful, right?
Yeah, that's something definitely to keep in mind for sure. I just remember too, he also was wearing I think it was with, I forgot who he was with, but he was wearing the White Lives Matter shirts too.
Oh yeah. He was doing something with like Candace Owens, right?
Candace Owens, that's who it was, yeah. When I say, yeah, he's just been on a freaking just triad of just nonstop crit. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Okay.
He's obviously not slowing down.
Yeah. And speaking of Kanye, this will lead us into our final topic that you wanted to talk about. So Kanye famously said that we all wouldn't be here without cum. All right, Lucas, tell us what you have.
I didn't even answer that when we were talking about that, though. He really did say that? That's actually a quote.
That's an actual quote. Like, I might be paraphrasing a little bit, but like he tweeted, basically, we all wouldn't be here without cum.
Okay, well, good. No, yeah, that's what I want to talk about because I have a heavy science background. I love looking up food nutrition and stuff and trying to wrap my head around what's happening with my body. And coming is just fascinating to me so much. One, because I like to do it. I just jack off furiously nonstop. Well, seriously, no, I don't like it on the serious side. Because, there's like these hormonal changes that happen in like your body, and there's like really there's not a lot of research, and like people really don't know like what's happening, and it's just really good for you. And there's so many different studies, like you see, right? Remember I mentioned that one study. I mean, I don't know how old the study is or exactly like when it came out. I should look into it again, but the whole like if you masturbate like 24 times out of the month or something, like your chances for prostate cancer like go down a lot. Like stuff like that. And they write like there's some studies like if you're actually like ejaculate in a woman versus just like masturbating, like it is like different. So it was like, why the heck? Like
how so? Like were they only basically able to say like the like make hypotheses about it, or did they kind of were they able to illuminate some like insights from that, just like why the difference and how
yeah, no, because like I'm trying to think of the scientific words to use besides like this like 12-year-old.
Is it like kind of some type of hormonal exchange between like I guess the penis and the vagina?
Right. Yeah. The penis is like it's being coated in the vagina juice.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what the other term would be. Vagina juice.
And you say you're a scientist.
Yeah, the fluids, right? It's like, it's like right, and somehow like it makes the sperm like different, So like it's hormonal change is like different. I mean, yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I need more research. I don't know. That's what I'm saying, Kevin. Like,
no,
stuff is like half baked shit. Like, I don't see a lot on it. I can go to like a regular like YouTube channel and people are like, oh yeah, you come here, like like people have like different opinions, but like nothing's concrete. That's what I'm interested in. There's nothing concrete on this really. It seems like it.
But no, but that's a really interesting thought. Like I like how like at least what the immediate thought that comes to my head is that it's very hard to deceive the body. Like the body knows, and what I mean by that is
right.
You that crazy phenomenon, the uncanny valley with like some 3D animation or like like virtual reality. Right, like obviously animation's gotten really good over the last 3 decades, right? But have you ever watched a movie or seen a video game, maybe cutscene, where like something just feels off even though the graphics are really good? It's like because our brain like notices like just like these maybe subtle body language things or tweaks or something just off where it knows it's not perfect. So I
right. Think, well, again, yeah. To kind of stop you there, sorry. That's the whole idea, right? Exactly. The body does know, and that's why, right? Just from an evolutionary perspective, right? Your body wants to reproduce, right? It wants to mate with someone, right? So, like, you would think that your body would give you, better hormonal levels and like I don't know, like the dopamine and systems and stuff, and like more testosterone potentially, right? Again, if you were like actually, with a woman versus the hand.
Yeah.
So it is different, right? Your body should be like programmed to recognize that and, get a better feedback loop when you're having sex with a woman versus a hand, right? I mean, from a hormonal level, not just a pleasure level, like the dopamine too.
So like based on research you've done, what should guys do like in terms of like masturbation? Like I'm assuming like porn is like a no-go. That just feels like it's like dopamine inducing, right? So like what's optimal for like a guy if, like
yeah, I mean, listen, that's his own kind of like right at this point. I mean, porn is like it's satanic. You know, I mean, Jordan Peterson is right. I mean, right. I mean, for Jordan Peterson's sake, we talked about right, just that easy access to it, and like, what does that really mean for like how you develop yourself as like a man? It doesn't want to make you work as hard as shit. I mean, there's some truth to that too, but again, that's what I'm saying. From like a hormonal level, is that really like screw with like your brain? I mean, right? Yeah, I mean, I think there is actually a good bit of research on actually how like the porn like rocks like your brain and stuff. That is actually I think pretty been explored pretty well. Definitely like not the best thing, but at the same time, right? It's there. Like you're gonna look at it. Don't cope, right? You call podcast. Don't cope. It's there. It's satanic. You know, it's just get it out of the way, but try to limit it if like you can. You know, I've definitely as I've gotten older. I'm not sure about you. Like I'm 100%. Like have reduced my porn usage a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Especially compared to college.
But, you know, it still happens.
Actually, dude, I feel like that would be pretty good phrase for some future merch. Don't cope.
yeah, don't cope. For sure. But yeah, that's why again why I'm so fascinated by it, because what's that religion or not religion, like the Taoism, right? Is it like Chinese or something? What is that?
Taoism, yeah.
Taoism, yeah. What is that?
I'm not sure.
Let me look it up then. Yeah, it's a philosophy. Yeah, Taoism, school. Chinese, yeah, was right. There's a that they said right. They actually have it out like this Chinese culture that based off like how old you are is how much you should masturbate before like you have to replenish.
Replenish, you said.
Yeah, I use that word because I remember right. So the whole idea is, seriously, it's true. You can look it up. Like when like you're a young guy, I mean, they say like you can go like, you know, all the time. But like I think like for our age, like you know, like you're like your 30s, it's like once a week. it's like once a week. But it's like yeah, they somehow like map it all out based on like your age.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, which is interesting because again, because right, there's this whole idea of the reason why I mentioned that too is because right, it's speak from personal preference. This is what the conversation has to transition to. I know for me, again, right, the body wants to reward these things and like got to get it out. I know like when you hold it in, right, your body lets you know like okay, it's time to get the bad stuff out.
It's time to get the bad stuff out.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Dude, no, sorry, I was laughing because like I feel that like the implied naivety in that sentence. Like I can imagine like teenage me or some like Mormon kid saying that. I gotta get the bad stuff out.
Yeah, this Christian kid, Mommy, I gotta get the bad stuff out.
Why is it turning to stone?
Yeah, right. I'm saying that's what's interesting. Why this needs to be researched more and stuff. Because right, what is optimal, right? And from like, I was going to speak from my personal perspective. It feels like like I'm pretty good at this point. Seriously, I mean, I have like low testosterone in some ways, maybe, but I feel like I'm good like just twice a week, and I'm like good, right? And back to the point of like even like doing it in the first place, right? Like again, you got to get the bad stuff out. Like my body's like letting me know, and I'm doing it. Like I'm not going to sit here and
is like your body's like one of those old like New York like city port authority like union boss guys. Like hey man, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get this stuff out of here.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? But see, here's the drawback though. It does make me feel somewhat weaker and lethargic, 100%. But my head is so much more clear. I'm much more calm, right? Anxiety and stuff, like it just I feel so much better.
Yeah.
But I do feel like more tired and stuff. So it's like, damn, like, you know. And so as I'm getting older, is that going to get worse, right? I mean, this is the optimal way. Should I just masturbate every day and just say to hell with it, you know?
Well, have you ever heard that like funny idea, like before any big idea, or like sorry, not idea, my bad, misspoke. Any big decision. Like, you just masturbate and then you think more clearly.
Joe Rogan said that too. Right, 100%. Yeah. That makes sense too. I mean, right. I mean, I'm going to throw it out there because I'm not going to sit here and like put myself in the corner here, right? I do have a girlfriend, so obviously I do more than the hand, right? I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. I got to, I'm not going to fucking sit here and make a fool of myself just for no reason. You know? in some ways. But yeah, again, it's a super interesting subject. I wish we could get like more research on it because, like I said, there is a balance. There are things that are happening, and I just feel like there's things that we could do to make it more efficient and work better, and figure out like what's optimal. Because if I like back to like the prostate cancer thing, if masturbating 22 times a month is what helps you reduce prostate cancer, then I guess I wouldn't be sleeping around more. I mean, I have to be lethargic.
Dude, you just I can totally imagine like a fuckboy using that as like an excuse to cheat. Just like sorry, babe. This is for my prostate cancer. This is not about you.
Yeah. I was on a trip for 2.5 weeks. I was going to get the prostate cancer was coming. Well, again, that's
like R. Kelly. I'm fighting for my life out here.
I was going to get prostate cancer. I have to have sex. The vagina fluids, they're helping me. But yeah, again, that's where it really needs research. Like really needs to be pushed into, and it's not explored enough. That's the whole point of it. Sperm ejaculating. How is this really affecting us hormonally, and what's really happening? Yeah,
what we should do for a future episode? We should get our testosterone tested and then just do like a more plates, more dates analysis of it.
Yeah. Oh, that would actually be kind of interesting. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Because that definitely affects things,
Yeah, no, and I think just be healthy to check. So if it's like low for one of us, okay, like what steps do we need to take? Because like I think that's the like, crazy thing about a lot of your health too, and like getting it checked, right? It's crazy to think because I know you have some experience with this, but I'll just leave it at that, right? Like sometimes you might be missing some micronutrients, right? Like I've heard some crazy things like, oh, people just didn't have enough iron in their diet and they're feeling depressed, and then just when they did some blood work, they were able to fix it and like, oh, I feel normal, or maybe they're not getting enough vitamin D by getting sunlight outside, right? So it's really good to check it out and see if there's anything that you can improve immediately, like those low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I know one thing I keep messing up on, and I don't know if I'm low in it or not.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me think of it, the micronutrient stuff, because I use that pink Himalayan salt, and that's good, but guess what? Pink Himalayan salt lacks.
Magnesium.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it has magnesium in it. No, I don't think it has it. Maybe it does. I don't know. I know what it doesn't have though.
What?
Iodine.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which is remember the government puts that in the regular table salt, which is smart, right? Because that's what they did. A lot of people were getting like orders and stuff, so the government intervened. I forgot when this was, but it's actually really cool. I look up and just briefly read about it. But they started putting iodine in the table salt, and like a lot of people just fix that, like everything. Like for a lot of people,
yeah, or like putting fluoride in the water helps like the dental health, right?
Yeah, that's what they say too. For that one, but this one is like a direct correlation with the quarters, and it's just really interesting. But now I should be getting my iodine from because you're right, dairy products, a lot of dairy, chicken and stuff. This all has iodine in it, but at the same time, I just wondered if I just increase my cranberry juice, like that. Some diets that recommend like cranberry juice, a lot of iodine in it. It's pure cranberry juice. So it's just something like this makes me think about, because again, in terms of like my energy levels, I mean, it kind of goes one of those things too. Is like what's normal, right? Yeah. You're this age, and it's like, should I feel this tired? At this point, I mean, I don't have problems when it comes to catch my drift. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my testosterone is like okay there, like. Right, like the beast wants to come out, and the beast has to come out, and I got to get it out. The bad stuff.
as my friend Solomon like said, everyone's got a little dog in him.
Everyone's gonna look.
No. So he said like everyone has a little dog in him.
Dog. But so I don't know. I mean, listen, it's one of those things. It's like, right. Oh, that's so perfect. Let's end on this, dude. Mm-hmm. Seriously, remember that's why I told you. Fuck this about like what's normal and shit. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if my testosterone level is test normally. It's bullshit. Because remember, all the microplastics and heavy metals that's in like our bodies, the fucking shitty foods that like we have to have access to, so of course you're gonna be missing like micronutrients. and radiation from like your phones, all this bullshit that we're have to be subjected to. Like, yeah, even the odds. Get fucking some testosterone and inject it. I wish I had the money and shit. I 100% would. Because it's like, oh no, you have to be on the rest of your life though. Oh good, I get to feel good the rest of my life. Sounds fantastic. Yeah. Joe Rogan's right on that shit, man. That's why he started doing it. The girl right where he messed up with the growth hormone shit. But even then, he'd probably argue against differently. But I'm just.
What's the? I mean, we don't get too deep into it, but like, what's the difference between? Because I don't know much about that, but testosterone replacement therapy and HGH or human growth.
In terms of the damn side effects, the HGH will fucking grow your organs.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Larger organs. That's why again, you said that gut. Joe Rogan has like that kind of like distended gut. Sometimes it kind of looks like it because his fucking organs are getting bigger.
Yeah.
And shit. That's what kind of happens. It enlarges it. Like testosterone. I mean, that could happen too, but it's not nowhere near as like risky. But that's like one of like the biggest like reasons,
Yeah.
In terms of like side effects wise and stuff. In terms of like the mechanism of action, like the molecular, I don't know exactly what they're hitting. I don't know exactly what HGH is stimulating. So that is not being covered by the testosterone. I could just Google it. Honestly, we should. Let's learn.
Well,
HGH versus testosterone.
Lucas, I know one thing for sure. We need to become multimillionaires so have access to this elite Captain America serum.
Yeah, where the hell is that shit at?
What?
Okay, so
give me the stuff that Bezos has.
Oh yeah, right. So hormone like replacement therapy. Yeah, the HGH is just right. It's why the organs grow, right? Because it is it's responsible for like growth.
Oh,
like your cell, like your cells are like turn to shit to like cells like grow easier.
That makes sense. So it's basically just like a fertilizer for your tissue and organs.
Sure. Yeah. I actually like that. Whereas just like testosterone, right? It's just like already something else in like your body. So
it's like the nitrogen replacement in soil. Like, have you ever heard of that guy? Like, I think he saved like 1 billion lives. Like Norman something. He figured out like some type of nitrogen capture that like vastly improved the food and farming crop yield. And like if you don't know about him, I forgot his last name unfortunately, but yeah, he's credited as the guy who saved 1 billion lives.
That's why Joe Rogan looks so good. I mean, right? He's doing those fucking combinations and shit. It's like, how could you not freaking look amazing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually good. I like that. I mean, maybe you can say like the nitro, like testosterone is like the nitro on. No, I like your example. But yeah, that's just something to segue into. And man, hormones.
So the guy's name, I just looked him up. His name is Norman Borlaug. He's credited with saving over 1 billion people from starvation. Interesting.
Jesus. Good for that guy.
Yeah.
He's got to pass to heaven.
Can you imagine if he did it?
That's supposed to go to hell, but that guy's he's free.
Could you imagine if he did it like all that good and I don't know, just like some technicality and the legalese, just like, well, you ate shrimp, sorry.
Yeah, something silly. But yeah, I mean that's it. I think for us, man.
All right, that's all, folks.